How's it going, everyone? I'm Isle. Okay. And this is StarCraft 2, and because of the chat that just happened, yeah, the players for today has been spoiled. Yeah, anyway, let's get into it. This is a series from Dreamhack Atlanta. Our first player from Germany, the biggest of games. It is HeroMarine. And his opponent is from South Korea. He is Zoun. So yeah, this one was played during Dreamhack Atlanta. It was in the group stages of the main event. I think this was Group G. And both of these players, very good players in their region. Zoun, a very good Protoss from South Korea. And I think, especially in this year, maybe even last year included, time is a difficult thing. He's been doing really well, and he's been showing that he is a very, very strong player. HeroMarine, on the other hand, I mean, I've casted him a bunch, but I feel like I haven't casted him in quite a while. Absolute monster of a Terran in the European circuit. He is very strong. He's very good at just that push. Hello. Straight. Oh, yes. Probe going against the barracks. You can do it. Yeah, anyway, where was I? But yeah, he's very strong Terran. He's very good at those pushes straight through the map. He's good at some multitasking, using drops and things like that. He's quite a well-balanced Terran. He doesn't rely on any dodgy strategies. He's just very solid with his timings, with his pushes, and yeah, his macro behind it. Decent micro, everything. He's very well balanced. I really enjoy watching him play. But yeah, so in terms of this build order, it is barracks into double Reaper into factory for Terran, and the Protoss has gone normal Nexus, Cybergate. Wow, that's a new thing. Cybergate. I want one of those. Gateway, Cybernetics Core. There you have it. Much better. Ooh, Zoun is not opting for the Stargate approach, but instead going into the Twilight. I know Twilight openers are more popular against Terran, going for that Blink Stalker army, but yeah, it's still nice to see a little bit of something different. So we'll see how these two match up against each other. This matchup can be relatively dynamic. There's a couple of different ways. We do tend, if we think about the standard, we'll see Terrans go for their normal Marine Marauder Medevac, eventually going into Ghosts in the late game, gets a worker, with Liberator support eventually. Protoss, they will, is he getting any workers? He's gotten 2, that's not bad, but yeah, your Protoss would go for your Blink Stalker into Robotics, with Colossus, and then eventually, oh, there it is, there's the Robo, and then eventually go into Disruptors, potentially Storm as well, and get in the Gateway support, so your Zealots and Sentries. Sometimes it can go into a carrier army towards the end, but for the most part, it's all about those Robo units to give nice splash to get rid of that Bio Ball. The map, the first one is Moondance. This obviously has the pocket base here, which I think seems like, okay, that's just a spotter pylon. I think the Protoss maybe doesn't. I don't know who's going to take that, if they're going to go for the more outward bases or the pocket bases. Generally, the pocket bases are not that great because it has less minerals and 1 less gas. So it's actually only half a base, really, I guess. We see the Raven on the way. That's going to be... Ooh, HeroMarine tries to sneak in there. Early War Prism, which means that Zoun's going to want to get a little bit aggressive. Widowmine drop. This could be big. Oh, redirects it and gets... Oh, that was only 6? Really? Okay, cleaned up in the main as well. I thought that was a lot more. That looked like a lot. Right? How did that Widowmine get there? The medevac was picked off. Okay, so the Stalker army along with the Warp Prism is moving across the map. And we'll have to see how HeroMarine defends this. The Raven is going to be helpful. He has a tank, but the tank is on the low ground. Second tank is on the way. Okay, it seems like Zoun is going to feint at the bottom there and then come in with the Stalkers. HeroMarine has already moved his forces a little bit forward. Got to watch out for the the Raven. So for just a couple of worky kills, not getting too much done, and with the tank on the high ground, that should help solidify HeroMarine's position, and he should be in a good spot. Okay, Zoun is opting for that pocket third while also going into the Robo Bay, getting charge up. HeroMarine's got no upgrades yet. Okay, Stimpack is on the way. I was about to say. Stimpack's on the way, and he's got the engineering bay. No upgrades coming yet. He's getting a couple more barracks. He's going to be supplementing his barracks army with some marauders. His infantry army. Bunker, yo, tank. The front should not be so easy to push into, so I think HeroMarine's going to be okay on the defense. Warp Prism is moving about there, and we see disruptors. So Zoun is skipping the Colossus, going straight for the disruptors. Guess that makes sense. Ooh, almost a good blink there by Zoun. Okay, a couple of medevacs going to help. I think as soon as these upgrades are done and the medevacs are ready, we're going to see a move out from HeroMarine. +1 is on the way, so he might wait for a +1 timing attack to go into this army. So far, these two players playing very standard. Reaper's going back in again. There is a slow Zealot that's trying to catch him. That's 3 workers. That is some value for those Reapers. They did well. Going back in, getting a little bit of stuff done. I like it. And here is the push out. A little bit before +1 is done. Maybe it's going to finish off. Ooh. Sneaky disruptor coming across the map, trying to get a big hit there. Gets a couple of Marines, but luckily HeroMarine is awake. If that was me, I would have lost my entire army and been crying about it all the way home. This is a strong push. I think, well, that's a nice position. Watch out. Okay. How many disruptors do we have out so far? We have got 2. Tank is going to set up here. Mine's going to set up. Watching out. Watching out. Yeah. Auto turrets coming down. The infantry army is doing well. Oh, this could be a big hit. Okay, HeroMarine gets the disruptor before the purification nova goes off. A couple more auto turrets. The medevac is out of energy. It can't heal anymore. HeroMarine's army is so low, but he's just going to drive straight into this. Please. Oh, big disruptor hit on that pack of Marines. The Robo Bay is not powered. The disruptor goes down. These Stalkers are going to blink forward to try to help out. Couple of good micro tricks that he's doing here. HeroMarine doing everything to stay alive. Tank is here in the main base. The reinforcements are on the way. They are marching across the map. Is he going to win the game with this? He's really trying hard to. Widowmine's helping to get rid of the Stalkers, and the reinforcements are arriving. GG is called. HeroMarine takes game number 1. For map number 2, we're finding ourselves on Data C, and that game is a perfect example of what HeroMarine does. He stays solid defensively at home, tries to lose as little as possible, builds up his forces, and then hits with a whopper timing and makes some good decisions. I think a lot of other Terrans might have pulled back, waited for the reinforcements, but HeroMarine just kept driving that pressure, not giving Zoun a second to rebuild, putting down the Widow Mines in good places, making sure that they were exploding on the warp-ins, and yeah, that was really fun. I like watching HeroMarine play. I honestly think if you are a Terran player and you want to get better, this is the person to watch. Like, Maru's great to watch, but it's almost the same as Cyril. Like, they're just that bit too good that it's hard to copy. Because they're amazing. They're so absolutely fantastic. HeroMarine is also amazing, but he has, it's all about the mechanics and the timings and things like that. So it's a lot easier, I think, to copy his types of builds and his timings. Maybe I'm wrong, because I'm not a Terran player and I'm terrible at copying build orders and stuff like that, but that is my professional opinion. And my professional opinion, obviously, is worth loads. Anyway, back to the game. Let's see if Zoun can do a little bit better of a performance in the second game. Not that he played poorly, but yeah, I think he missed some splash, and I think that's the risk of going Disruptors first. Disruptors, yes, they can get big hits, and he got a big hit, but he got the big hit too late. It was his entire army was gone, it was just the Disruptor left. Then the big hit came out, and that's not ideal. So, you know, if he had a Colossus in that fight, I think he would have done a lot better, because so much of HeroMarine's army was in the red. They were so low, and no medevac healing them. So maybe that could have been a decider for him to change it up. If he got built into that Disruptor force, I think he would have done a lot better. What is the sneaky probe doing? Why are you sneaking around the corner, Mr. Probe? What are you doing over there? You didn't place anything. Nah, it doesn't look like. No, everything's fine in the main base. Alright, so now we see the Stargate going in. So now the question is going to be, is it going to be Phoenix? Is it going to be Oracle? I'm guessing Oracle, but Zoun is known to like his Phoenix play, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Phoenixes. Phoenix is obviously very strong if you can control them well. HeroMarine, he's going up to Starport, moving his second command center down to the natural and pumping out a couple of Hellions. That was not supposed to be there, that mule. Oh, you know what he did? He actually moved it off so that he won't lose any resources from that mule. Very high level micro trick. So as soon as the mule's about to run out and you know it's not going to make it back to the CC to deliver the crystals, the pros or a lot of high level players will move it away so that it doesn't harvest resources and then time out, because those resources essentially just get lost. Hellion's gonna have a look around. Yeah, it is Phoenixes indeed from Zoun, so he's gonna try get a little bit of a fleet going before harassing the mineral lines. Phoenixes are great. They're able to go in, pick up workers, deal a lot of damage, and they can take a couple of hits, so very strong. Widowmine drop gonna come out. HeroMarine loves his Widowmine drops in this matchup. Very, very strong with him. That's a nice spotter pylon there. Robo is coming out once again. I think with the Phoenixes, Zoun should be pretty safe. I think. Oh, he's just gonna fly it straight in there. That is an odd flight pattern there, but I kind of like it. Okay, here comes the Phoenixes. They're gonna pick up and they're gonna start cleaning out. So not ideal. The Hellions are the ones that got a lot of damage done, trying to be dealt with by the ground army. So yeah, all in all, 8 workers gone down for 4 Widowmines. Oh, Burrow! Burrow! Oh, HeroMarine, I don't think he realized. Yeah, the Phoenixes ran out of energy there. That is a nice quick Robo Bay. Phoenix is now going to move across, and that is it. That's all the Phoenixes that Zoun is going to make. So he's quite content that that will be enough to defend him. Cyclone is out. It's going to target and try to get rid of the Phoenix. They are splitting up. Zoun's just going to use them to keep an eye on the map. Oh, solid game, yeah? Third Nexus on the way for Zoun. Now he's going back into Phoenixes, so obviously just paused a little bit to get some other stuff out, the Robo Bay and things like that. 4 Phoenixes flying in. Are they going to get anything done? They could always pick up the Cyclone. Obviously there's risk involved with that too, because picking up the Cyclone does mean that at least one Phoenix is vulnerable to the Marines. There we go. Okay, I like this one. Going into Colossus and extended thermal lance first. That's going to help him be a little bit safer. And that is going to require the Terran to go into something like Viking. So the Terran is spreading their money into things that, you know, are not necessarily ideal. Because Vikings literally only deal with the Colossus. and not much else. So I think that's always the benefit of going Colossus, is you're just forcing the Terran to add another unit. Instead of having more Marines and Marauders, the Terran now has to cut into medevac production as well in order to make some Vikings. So I like the Colossus play. I mean, there are some Terrans, and I think HeroMarine does it himself sometimes, that just skip out on Vikings and just go more Marauder heavy and try to really punch their way through to the Colossus. But in general, if there are a lot of Marines in the army, the Colossus does really well. And quite difficult to take out. Third CC, is there a third CC on the way? It doesn't look like it, so this seems to be HeroMarine is going to go for a solid 2 base push. Got a couple of medevacs. He's going to pick up. Poor Cyclone can't fit. Sorry Cyclone, you're going to have to be left at home. What on earth was that? Okay, I'm going to replay, go back a bit. I don't know what that was. Ah, the Raven. Okay, that's nice. The Raven got a couple of workers and then died. Ah, poor Raven. I feel like with the new patch, because Ravens got changed, right? Ravens are cheaper. I feel like in the new patch, that's going to be okay to do with Ravens. I think in this version of the game, with them costing 200 gas, that's a lot to just lose. Phoenixes versus Vikings. Guess who wins? Yep. The Phoenixes. Yep. 4 Vikings at a time coming out for HeroMarine. He's ready for those Colossus. The advantage of... yeah, there we go. Landing them. The advantage of having that Raven was that he saw everything in the base and saw the Colossus on the way. The drop was turned away. HeroMarine at this stage staying very defensive, staying back. Not going for the attack that he initially planned. We see the transition to Disruptors as well as the Templar Archive. So, should be Storm along with some Archons for support. Zoun, I think, is positioning himself quite a lot better in this game. Although, there is still no third CC, so this is going to be a very dedicated attack from HeroMarine. He is planning on ending this right now. He could obviously transition, but that would make a very late third base, which is just going to put him behind economically, because, I mean, Zoun already has his third base up. He is up by 12 workers. The advantage for HeroMarine, sorry, that sentence did not want to come out, is that those Phoenixes are not amazing against this army that's going to come pushing up this ramp right now. So there is a disruptor. HeroMarine trying to bait out the purification over. Big hit there. HeroMarine still going to be pushing on, avoiding the second one. Microing back and forth. Archon there helping, dealing some nice damage. Vikings giving the Colossus plenty, and getting rid of the Phoenix. Battery overcharge is almost done, so he's just waiting for that one. Healing up a little bit. The factory is here to spot for any Zealot run-bys. That's actually very clever from HeroMarine. He is now going to rotate up a little bit, getting concussive shells, and there's a Zealot run-by that actually had to get dealt with by SCVs. Okay, HeroMarine going in once again. Watching out for the disruptors. Let's zoom out a little bit. A lot of Vikings. I almost feel like there's too many Vikings in this army at this stage, but it seems to be okay. He's going to land them, which means they can tank some hits. The Bio army is coming in. Zoun's army is kind of just melting. There's not much left, and now it's probes. This Disruptors does not get a good hit. The Bio army is getting rid of a lot of workers and the Zealots. I think this could be the end, or at least the beginning of the end. Another big disruptor. Good micro there by HeroMarine, picking up at the last minute. But that is 16 workers down. HeroMarine not stopping with the pressure. His units are so low. Okay, a decent hit there from that Purification Nova. I think this is going to force HeroMarine back home, but the damage is dealt. At this stage, both players are now even, but HeroMarine needs to either push again, get his army recouped. I don't know if that's the right word, but we'll go with it. Because he still doesn't have a third CC on the way, so he could alternatively just move up. Ooh, big drop here into the main base. And this is going to make it difficult for the Protoss to come in. He's got a couple of zealots moving in here. But, yeah, pick up and out you go. And at the same time, 2 medevacs going to come into the the natural second. What am I talking about? Dealing some more damage on this side. Now, HeroMarine is just picking up, pulling Zoun apart here, slowly but surely. I like what he's doing at this stage now. HeroMarine has the worker lead. Oh, watch out for the disruptor. Watch out for the second disruptor. Okay, but he does get it and picks up, and he's out of there. Yeah, HeroMarine microing very well. It's those little micro tricks that makes him that good, you know? I mean, apart from the macro and everything, that's really good. Yeah, doing those little kind of tricks and being able to save those 6 Marines or whatever their army is, that's huge. At this stage, HeroMarine is up by almost 50 supply, and I don't think Zoun has a decent answer. A couple of force fields coming up, but that's not really going to split the army like he wants it to. It's not going to trap them. It's actually just going to make a choke that helps. The Terran reinforcements coming in for HeroMarine. He's got a nice arc around this kind of ramp. He's getting some good hits in here, and I think Zoun's army is starting to collapse. HeroMarine doing some deadly damage here. Final disruptor gets a big hit there, but there is still so much Terran left. HeroMarine double the supply of Zoun. GG is called. HeroMarine takes the series in absolutely solid fashion. You know, that's what HeroMarine does. He just plays a game absolutely perfectly. You know, a couple of things that he could possibly do better, but it's like tiny. It's tiny. But yeah, there you go. HeroMarine takes the series. I love watching him play. He's a very good player. I hope you enjoyed this too. I hope you enjoyed the cast. And like if you did. Subscribe if you want to see more StarCraft content. And I hope you have a nice weekend. Wait, no, this is after the weekend. Sorry, I'm recording this on the weekend. It's going to go up on Monday. So I hope you had a good weekend. Anyway, I'm rambling. Have a good one, and I'll see you in the next one.